Good afternoon, everybody. I hope you're all okay. Mr. Martin here with this afternoon's history learning episode for you, carrying on our Greek topic. But before we do that, we're going to have a bit of retrieval practice, and we're going to carry on with our Who Wants to Be a Millionaire quiz that I know lots and lots of you enjoyed last week. So if you were with us last week, you will see that we got up to question 5, which is worth £1,000. Okay, today, before we go into our history lesson, we're going to see if we can make it up to £32,000. So you need a pen and paper at the ready. And I've just had to make myself a bit bigger here to cover the answers because all the answers kept coming up. So here we are then. Let's start. So you need to write question number 6. We're going to start on next. And this is for £2,000. So let's see who's in. You ready? Best of luck. Okay, that was our one from last week. Question 6 for £2,000. What was the name of the social class who used to be slaves? So not at the very bottom, because we know that's slaves, the one just above slaves. Is it A, freedmen, B, safemen, C, workmen, or D, rich men? Which one was it just above the slaves on our pyramid? Have a think for £2,000. Okay, let's have a look then. The correct answer is A. They are freedmen because they used to be slaves. Now they have been freed. Well done if you said that. So if you're still in, we're on question 7, and this is for £4,000. So we're looking at the Battle of Marathon that we did before half term. By how many soldiers were the Greeks outnumbered compared to the Persians during the Battle of Marathon? So for every one Greek soldier, there were 1,000 Persians. For every one Greek soldier, there were 100 Persians. For every one Greek soldier, there were 2 Persians. Or for every one Greek soldier, there were 10 Persian soldiers. Which one was it? So we know they were outnumbered, but by how many? Okay, let's have a look. For £4,000, congratulations if you said 1 to 10 as our ratio. For every one Greek soldier, there were 10 Persians. So there were 10 times the amount of Persian soldiers. Well done. £4,000. I reckon we're going to have to get Mr. Jones to help pay for some of this. It's going to get expensive. Right, question 8 then. Let's see who's still in. Where did the Greek gods and goddesses all live? Is it A, Mount Olympus, B, Crete, C, Athens, or D, Sparta? So they all lived in the same place. Where was it? Okay, question number 8. Make sure you've got an answer. Well done if you said Mount Olympus. We know they all lived together at the top of Mount Olympus. Question 9. So we're doubling our money here for £16,000. Which of these is a piece of armor worn by a hoplite soldier? Is it A, Thieves, B, Peeves, C, Greaves, or D, Heaves? So we know a hoplite soldier is a Greek soldier. What did they wear? Or which one of these did they wear? I'll give you a clue. Something they wore on their legs, on their shins. And you remember? Jogging our long-term memories, trying to get that information back. Well done if you said C, Greaves. So they're the metal shin pads that the hoplite soldiers used to wear. Let me see if I've got a picture for you. Where was it? They used to wear it on their shins, and it would be 54. Let me see. There we go. So these, the Greaves, can't turn the page. Here, on his shins. Can you see them? Well done if you said Greaves. Right, let's go to our next question then for £32,000. So this is where we're looking at our city-states. Why were the city-states called independent? Is it A, they liked spending time on their own? B, they shared land? C, they believed in different gods or goddesses, or D, they had their own rules, laws, and governments. That's casting our mind back to the first lesson we did on the Greeks. Okay, for £32,000, and the last question this week. Well done if you said D. So even though they're all in the same place, ancient Greece, they had different laws, rules, and their own governments. So well done if you said D. Now, we'll carry on for our last 5 questions next week to see if we have any winners of £1 million. Well done, everybody. Right, let me just share a different screen with you all. Okay, make myself a bit smaller now. I don't need to hide the answers. Right, last week we were looking at the social class pyramid system of ancient Greece. And we know that social class is the different groups of people based on their importance and their status within the society. One thing I forgot to mention is that the lives of Greek men and Greek women were actually very, very different back then. Greek women's lives were restricted. They were often controlled by the men, so the husbands, fathers, or brothers. And lots of girls married young, and they didn't attend school or work because they thought that society thought that they just needed to learn how to be good wives and work in the house. Okay. Now, this was thousands and thousands of years ago, so thankfully we've moved on from that, and obviously we do realize that men and women are equal nowadays. But it's important when we're considering all the next few weeks about our Greek learning that men and women were considered very different within society. Okay, and it's really important what we're going to look at today as well. So, Tuesday, the 2nd of March, 2021. Our what is to understand how Greek houses were built and the facilities and rooms that they had. We're going to do it through exploring the world. We're going to look at some diagrams of some Greek houses and then why, so you guys can build your own models. I thought we'd do another creative one because we were absolutely blown away with your creativity and your skills and your commitment to building the Greek temples before half term. Okay, so the first thing to point out is that not all Greeks lived in the same houses, same as today. Some people live in much bigger, grander houses, and some people live in much less grand houses that don't have as many different facilities and things in. So that's dependent on where they are in the social class pyramid. If we take a look, and I've taken this from our ancient Greek book at school, our curriculum enhancer, here we have a picture of a traditional lower class ancient Greek house. So maybe the freedman, so the 3rd level down on our pyramid, might live in a house like this. And as you can see, it's very, very basic. Now, the first part of our what was to show what they're built of. Most Greek houses were built of mud bricks, okay? So there was lots and lots of mud around, and they formed them into bricks to build these strong, strong houses. And they're often painted white because it's a really sunny climate, and that is why the white would bounce off them and keep them cool. Now, as you can see, very, very basic. They had lots of terracotta tiles on the roofs, okay, and pretty basic. We had lots of living space downstairs, but this is what a freedman house would look like. Very, very simple. As you can see, there's not much stuff upstairs. There's just one ladder going up. They didn't have a lot of rooms in the house, so they'd all sort of live together. But what we're going to focus on more today is a traditional middle/upper class Greek house, and we're going to look at the different rooms within the house. So again, often built of mud bricks and had tiled roofing. With Greek houses, they often had this courtyard area within the middle of the house, and the house would be built around it. Okay, this would be like the communal area, the outside area. They sometimes had a well where they could collect water from to do their cooking or help with their washing. And you'll see, I'm not going to explain all of the rooms because a bedroom is still a bedroom where you go to sleep. A bathroom is still a bathroom where you wash yourself and get ready in the morning. Kitchen would be where they prepare the food. Obviously, we know what a kitchen is. But the 2 new words are these ones here. We have a gynoeceum and an andron. Okay. Now, as we said at the beginning, the males and the females were treated very, very differently. So they had these separate rooms within the house. Now, if we first of all look at the andron, okay? So this andron part down here, this area was strictly for the men in the house, okay? They were considered more important, so they were on the ground floor here. And this is where they would socialize and entertain their guests. Now, on the other hand, they had this gymnasium, which is where the women would be based, okay? And if we have a look, oh, 1 minute. So this room was set aside especially for women, okay? It's often where they do lots of things like weaving and housework and sewing and making fabrics, okay? And they would look after all of the children in the house in this room, okay? And as I said before, it was spaced away from the andron. So the men had all of this space downstairs and the women were sort of pushed upstairs into this littler room, or smaller room, sorry, to do things like weaving, do the laundry, because again, they were considered less important than the males. So back then, this would have been considered normal, that the men were treated differently to the women. Obviously, nowadays, we know that is not the case. So we've got the courtyard area, they had a bedroom, bathroom, kitchen, which we know, but then these separate areas of the house for women and men, because the men were considered more important than the women. Okay, so the men would be socializing with their guests down here, and the women would be upstairs looking after the children. Right, quick overview there of the different areas and buildings and facilities and rooms within an ancient Greek house. What I would like you guys to do now is you're going to create a model of a Greek house. So you can use this image to help you. Now, again, you can use your Play-Doh, Lego, cardboard, anything you've got at your home. And what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to label the different rooms. So we've got this word again, gymnasium for the women and andron for the men. Okay. So send us in your pictures of whatever you managed to create. If you cannot create anything because you don't have the materials at home, that's absolutely fine. I would like you to draw a traditional middle/upper class house from ancient Greece, and I'd like you to label all the different rooms that we've looked at today. Fantastic. One extra challenge. Now, this is if you wish to accept. We are going to have a look at this. So on Purple Mash, I'm going to set this for you. Now, this is optional. Ancient Greek houses. And it's for you to sort of show off and show what you have learned. So you can write a little bit about what we've talked about in here, and you can add some pictures in here for you. And it's talking about all the different things that we've talked about today. Ancient Greek houses is your topic, and you can edit that. So that's optional for you as well. I'll set that for you. Right. So there we are, our ancient Greek houses, focusing on the different rooms. Remember, they were made of mud, or mud brick, sorry, and had these tiled roofed areas. Have a brilliant day, and we'll see you again soon. Well done. Bye-bye.